cathedral without a choir doesn't quite work. A cathedral and choir go together, like meat in a sandwich, I guess.
Well, our chief goal is to be a performer of this music for God on behalf of the people.
The loss of this type of music, that is cathedral music, would be like saying, well, why do we bother having symphony orchestras anymore playing the music of these old dead people that haven't been around, you know? It is all part of Western culture, and our culture is us. We are the way we are because of our heritage and our background.
I think it behoves us to recognise the importance of that and to see how we might contribute towards it, to be able to protect, encourage, nurture and develop this instrument, this beautiful thing that we have in our midst.
A cathedral choir is probably the only place in the world, the only group in the world, where a child is seen as an equal to an adult. So here at St. Peter's Cathedral, our treble line, that's the top line, is made up of children, ranging in age from 7.5 upwards to early teens.
Because we're all of different ages, there's sort of that brother-sister camaraderie.
That's the good thing about the choir, it's just one big family almost.
When the conductor brings the baton down, they are expected to be there on time, on the note, singing properly, exactly as the adults are.
At first, when I very first started, I was just so in awe of what all the adults could do.
It feels really good to know that it's because singing is one of the hardest things to do, and to get it right and accurate, especially when you get a few solos, it's really, you get a good sense of honour and pride in what you do, and it's really comforting to know that other people can hear you sing and that you're doing well.
I don't know a choir where kids can sing as well as we do. It's just, and I think the expectation put on us from the time we're pretty young is kind of an adult expectation. We're expected to be professional about everything we do.
I'm constantly amazed at the way these young children, and they are young children, some of them haven't even lost all their baby teeth yet when they start, how they step up to it.
When I look at these young children, hearing a piece of music by Palestrina for the first time and look at the expression in their eyes, I think, yes, we must continue.
The thing I love most about singing is probably just that it's structured and free at the same time. It's sort of creative, but it has rules, so you can express yourself.
What I enjoy about the choir is that you can socialise with people your own age, you can learn about music, develop a musicianship skill.
I like the feeling that I'm doing something that people have been doing for hundreds and hundreds of years.
The sound that we make here is quite unique, and it is one of those iconic things that, well, you can only find at St. Peter's, actually. You'll have to travel quite interstate, definitely, to find anything like it, and probably overseas.
I suppose that there are a few little churches that you can join in the choir, in the congregation you can sing, but at the cathedral there's that certain something that most other places don't have.
In a way, singing in a cathedral choir is the equivalent of an elite sport, perhaps unacknowledged in our sporting mad culture, but in terms of commitment it's absolutely up there with it. Why? There's something about the music, of course, that grabs people, but I think the more discerning also realise they get a fantastic music education.
I'll pull out a piece and say, oh, we're going to do the Bird Ave Verum today, and my children go, oh, cool, that's fantastic, I love that. Now, you can say, goodness me, how ridiculous, but they really genuinely love it.
I think the music, the classical and the romantic baroque, the music that we sing here will be a part of my life, I'm sure of that, and a lot of other people's, because it just stays with you. It's an atmosphere that really can't go away.
I don't want to ever live without singing. Like, I always want to sing.
We find talent moving on to significant places in music across Australia, but not only that, across the world as well. And so many of the people who've come through at grassroots level in the cathedral, in the choir, are now in significant positions in the music industry worldwide.
Currently we have 3 organ scholars, and they're paid for through the Music Foundation. They are young instrumentalists who want to learn the organ, and in particular want to be part of the English cathedral tradition.
We're in quite an unprecedented position here at the cathedral in having 3 very young organ scholars, and particularly in a time when young people learning the organ is fairly rare.
We provide a particular music heritage which encompasses everything that can be done in other places. So if they work here, they first of all get to play on a very wonderful organ, and they also get to play the traditional music of the Anglican Church, which is a wider range than any other tradition. All of the other churches have wonderful music, but it's not as wide-ranging, so they really get it all if they're working here.
I think it certainly adds something to the performance of music, knowing that you are performing music that can touch the congregation in a very particular way in this incredible surrounding. You can add something to the worship of God in this place. So it's certainly very rewarding as an organ scholar to be able to contribute to that.
I think that's one of the great things about the Music Foundation, that they can provide these scholarships so that we keep the tradition of organ playing going. Because really there is nowhere else in Adelaide where they can do such a thing.
In order to aim for the quality of music, that excellence, that iconic music that I was talking about, we have to have the best we have, the best we can possibly get. And that means highly skilled professional people, such as our director of music, our organists, and supporting people. You can't produce the sounds week after week after week that we do here, without really skilled, experienced, and competent people.
I think the choir is a very central part to most aspects of the cathedral. In the worship service, for example, the congregation, I hope, feels part of the choir.
Something like the Music Foundation gives an underlying stability to what we're trying to do here, which is to provide the very best in cathedral choral music that we possibly can. A cathedral choir attracts people by its very nature. There is something about cathedral music, and many of the people who worship here regularly came here first because of the music.
I think you can go to concerts, you can go and listen, but actually singing the music is much more important than just going and listening to it. So this music is becoming part of what they're actually doing.
The church has always said that music speaks better than words can. It was once said that music takes off where words are left behind.